Right, we're looking at the frontage of Joseph Williamson's house on Mason Street, and this is our headquarters here. I thought I'd just show you something of what lies next door, because this is one of the areas we're hoping to get to excavate if we ever get permission. Right next door to our site here is a piece of land up against the railway cutting where the Merseyflex factory used to stand until 2019. This is the gates to the Merseyflex site, now an empty derelict site and getting very overgrown. But after the building was knocked down beginning of 2019, we got permission in September to get on the site for a week with our own digger to have a look and see if we could find a tunnel that we believe to be under the land here that I'm looking at. Now, we were working with the army plans from the 1880s, which showed quite a large chamber on this land and various passages leading to or from it, and also a tunnel running under the street. Sounds implausible, but the army plans were proving to be quite reliable. So we were on the site from a Monday morning in September 2019, and we came straight to the spot that we wanted to investigate first, depending on how much time we had. And I'm now walking towards an area where we dug a first trench. This is just a few yards away from the railway cutting wall here, which goes down about 70 or 80 feet in the ground, where the Edge Hill to Lime Street railway cutting goes through. And looking towards the road and the fence, the pavement here, this is where we dug our first trench, running from just behind the fence backwards onto the site. And on the very first morning we discovered what we were looking for. Below this spot here, under this buddleia, there was a sort of basement corridor running backwards in this direction, and right there in front of me was a tunnel running right under the road directly across Mason Street. We couldn't believe it, that it was right there. Nobody knew about it. This road had taken endless large lorries over it for many years, and it's never sagged, it's never collapsed, so the tunnel is in good condition. It was filled full of rubble like everything else of Williamson's, but it was still intact, obviously. We didn't dare touch it, but we dug this trench coming backwards away from the road, and it appeared to be a corridor. Some of the floor was covered in tiles, in fact, with off to the right there were some basement rooms. That was quite interesting in itself. We dug this trench back quite a long way, probably 10 meters or so, and then on the second day we decided we cut a trench at right angles to this first one. So from somewhere here, not too far from the railway cutting wall, I can see where the concrete's been broken here, and we backfilled again. We dug a second trench at right angles to that first one, going straight across the site, and we were about 4 meters deep in the ground as we cut across here when we discovered the roof of an arch chamber, which is exactly what we were looking for, exactly where we expected it to be. There's quite a serious dip in the ground here now. You can only see a little bit of water in the puddle. Sometimes this is much fuller when it's been raining, where the ground has sagged since we backfilled it. But I'm now looking towards the road. I'm standing directly above the middle of where that chamber is. You can see a white van on the other side of the road, and from there, running this way, this chamber was there, 13 meters long and about 7 meters wide. And we were so lucky in that we dug our trench right across the top of it from over there, and at nearly 4 meters down we found a hole in the top, or near the top of the roof of this chamber, and we were in. It was about 2 meters from its end. It runs from only a meter or so from the fence there and 13 meters back onto the site, and we measured it accurately with the laser measure. It was full with rubble, but there was just enough space at the top to crawl from end to end across the top of the spoil heap. We measured it to 13 metres long and about 7 metres wide. And what we want now is to get back onto this site. We're looking for Liverpool City Council to give us permission to occupy a corner of this site. So along the fence there with Mason Street, and back here along the railway cutting wall, a square of land big enough for us to put in a pair of gates, and enough space to put a skip and for us to get in there and start excavating. The hole we got in was only quite small. We could just squeeze through. There were two other holes in the roof, one halfway along and one nearer to the end nearest the road, which were bigger holes, and they'd been used to fill this place up. I believe all the spoil in there, which was pure broken sandstone, has come from the railway cutting, which is there just a few metres away, 70 or 80 metres deep, dug out during the 1880s, 1880 to 1885. And I think they just used this Williamson chamber as a suitable dumping ground for all that material. So that's what we want to get back to. We need to empty this out if we can ever get permission, find out how deep it is. It may be as big as the banqueting hall, it could be even deeper. And the army plans led us straight to it. We also have tunnels or passages leading off it according to those plans, and eventually a passage which appears to run directly across the site and onto our site, where you can see hopefully two blue containers there, our office and storage container. We believe the passage runs from the back of this tunnel right across the site and under there. We haven't found anything like that on our site, but the army plans are proving to be far more accurate than we ever thought, and so we've got good reason to believe that it's there. So that's it. That's where the chamber under the Merseyflex site is sitting, just waiting for us to get back to it. And all we can do is work on Liverpool City Council and hope that they will allow us on and that they don't have any other plans for this land. So that's it. Thank you.